record button. Ta-da. Oh, let me do the thing as well, and then you're not having to worry about your cameras. There we go. Back to the Future. Boom, boom, boom. It's another one of those where I go, oh, I'm thinking we've done this, but I don't think we have. But if we have, we've hinted at it. We've not gone into it. So bear with. Um, so before we get going, I'm just going to invite you to just have a fidget, get comfy. See, the moment I say that, everyone knows what's coming. Um, And I'm just going to invite you to just close your eyes just for a moment. And then allow yourself just to begin to settle into your body. Just being aware of the chair beneath you, or if you're lying down, whatever it is you're lying on. Be aware of the floor beneath you. Be aware of the ceiling above you. Be aware of the walls surrounding you. As you breathe and relax, and maybe you can notice the breath as it comes and goes. Nothing forced, just that natural rhythm and tide. Letting go of the stresses of the day, the out breath. Breathing in a sense of calm and stillness on the in breath. And if it helps, you can imagine that out breath, all the stresses and worries leaving the body like a grey mist. Just breathing it out and it all just disappears, dissipates. And as you breathe in, if it helps, imagine that calm and that peace as a color, just breathing in whatever color is calm and peaceful for you right now. And just allow your awareness to settle on that place within you. That feels most comfortable, most relaxed. And as you become aware of that now, allow that sense of calm and stillness, of relaxation to spin and flow within you. So now bring your mind to something you're looking forward to. Something that's happening in the future. It might be a trip. It might just be a bit of time off where you're looking forward to putting your feet up with a book. It might be, something you're cooking, or even better, is being cooked for you at the weekend. And you kind of think, oh, I'm looking forward to that. Or it might be something significant, something bigger than the everyday that you are looking forward to. Just bring it to mind. And as you bring it to mind, Allow yourself to see it, to feel it, to hear it. In fact, you can just begin to imagine that moment and allow your whole body to lean into that imagined moment. Be there now. See what you see. Feel what you feel. Hear what you hear. And as you experience that now, I wonder what is that changes when you experience the future now. And then when you're ready, just gently open your eyes. Be here now, bringing back anything that you're aware of, having stepped into that future imagining. So what we've just done is a technique, a method that we can do for ourselves. And if you um, think of sports people, also professional people, um, kind of business people who do sales, quite a lot of the time they talk about they'll picture themselves walking out of the room having clinched the deal, or they'll imagine themselves running the track or driving the track and see themselves passing the finish line. How they want to be feeling is an important part of that. And future projection is the process of mentally rehearsing a desired state of mind, an outcome, or an action as if it's already happening or has already happened. And there's a couple of different approaches to it. We can do it as we've just done it now. You can drop it into conversation in a more kind of concise way, which is someone goes, "Oh, I'm just a bit stuck with this." You go, "Okay, well, imagine you've got beyond it and you're no longer stuck. What did you do to get there?" And just that shift of putting their mind into the state of having achieved the thing or got past it can then open up resources to to actually solve the problem. And why does it work? Why is it powerful? Well, the unconscious mind does not distinguish well between imagined and real experience. And that's something I've mentioned before. It's why we jump at horror movies. Not that it's a horror movie, but the very first Ghostbusters movie, I love it to bits. And I remember the very first time I saw it at the cinema. It was my mate Alex's birthday. We all went to see it. It was at Wellington when they had the cinema in what was Dunelm, which I think they've now pulled down. Um, and we went there, and he'd read the book, so he knew what was coming. But even though he knew what was coming, all of us jumped at the point where the ghost of the librarian turns around and goes ah, and becomes a scary face. And even to this day, even though I know that moment is coming, because I love watching it and I kind of get into it, even though I know it's coming, I'm like, it's any moment now, any moment now. It still gets a bit of a response from me, even though I know it's coming. And that's because our minds, our unconscious minds, don't really differentiate between imagined and real experience. That's why a good storyteller can have you feeling like you've lived something because your imagination doesn't know the difference. So when we do I can't say the word future projection. Um, It also helps create neural pathways that support confidence, motivation, and belief. If you can rehearse in your mind that you can do something enough, you're learning, because your mind doesn't greatly know the difference. You're learning how to do that thing. And it can also soften fear and resistance by letting people safely experience success. A lot of people don't succeed because they're scared of success. There's some aspect going way back where it's like they've been told that, money is the root of all evil or something like that. And or people like us don't end up in those top jobs. And stuff like that can be a throwaway line from somebody, not meant with anything at all other than an observation. And yet further down the road, it can create a fear or resistance to success because people go, oh yeah, but I'm a person like that, so that's not going to happen to me. And so by future projecting, we can give people and start opening up new possibilities of what it might feel like to actually succeed. And we can use it to install new behaviors. Um, Quite often when I do stop smoking stuff, have done future progression projection as um, kind of seeing yourself in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months as a non-smoker, how good you're feeling, how much younger you're looking, the fresher you're feeling. Um, you can do it to rehearse responses. So if you've got a big interview coming up and you want to respond kind of, you're a bit worried, but you want to respond in a kind of calm, but I know what I'm doing kind of way, future future projection, projecting yourself or helping somebody else see themselves in that situation. It can build identity level shifts. So what do we mean by that? It means if you identify somebody that's always unfortunate or never gets an opportunity, you can use it to see a future or step into a future um, where you are experiencing those things you don't think you can experience. Okay, so you don't feel you can do that yet, but imagine you could. What would that be like now? Um, and get them to explore it in the mind and then step into it as though it's really happening. And if they're talking about it in a future tense to start off with, shift that tense. So you start talking about and see yourself in that job. See yourself kind of sitting down at the interview at that desk, feeling good, being able to speak calmly and more relaxed, giving good answers, really sharing and without worry your expertise. And as you're doing that now, so you've shifted from talking about something you're going to do and bringing it to now. So as you're doing that now, and the unconscious mind can't argue that because it doesn't know whether you mean are you as in you're doing the actual thing now, or whether it means just as you're imagining it now. But either way, your unconscious mind can learn from it. And you can use it to break limiting patterns, habits, that kind of thing. And it's not wishful thinking, it's embodied imagination used strategically. I think it was Erickson who said that, was it Erickson? I'm sure it was, who said in a battle between willpower and the imagination, imagination will always be the stronger. It will always come out as the strongest. And because willpower, with every will in the world, goes, if I do A, B, and C, it will get me to D. Think New Year's resolutions. Going to lose weight, going to stop smoking, A, B, C, and I'll get to D. If I do this, do that, I'll get there. And so willpower goes, right, that's the plan, that's what we're going to do. And so it starts off really well, and then someone invites you to a party, and that cake you weren't going to eat goes out the window because you hadn't allowed for that. And your willpower is very good at keeping you on track as long as hit things you didn't allow for don't interfere. Um, Classic one is people when they stop smoking. Yeah, stop smoking, haven't touched them for 9, 12 months. Then they have a stressful time. Maybe, I don't know, lose a job, maybe somebody's sick or whatever, and they find themselves smoking again. Don't know if you heard the noisy motorbike and the horn, but that was, um, and so they start smoking again. And that's because willpower alone can't take those kind of hidden things that creep up. Your imagination, you imagine yourself strongly enough being a non-smoker or being somebody who's more positive. more successful, more whatever, you're teaching your mind, you're saying, mind, this is how I want to be, this is how I'm going to be. And if you rehearse it, confidence is just, you get confident by doing things lots and lots and lots of times. But actually, knowing this about future projection, you don't actually have to be doing it to start building that confidence. So when I'm teaching guitar at the moment, having started that up, there's a lot of the stuff that I use that's obviously coming into that. And one of them is future projection. Today's lesson, learning some new chords. What I want you to do is every time you pick your guitar up to practice, presupposition, because they will, I want you to just, before you even start playing, just think about what you're playing, or think about where you want to be playing. So like the chap I'm teaching at the moment wants to be able to come to the session and play guitar in the session. So every time you pick it up, I want you to imagine yourself in that session. Picture yourself going through those chords. Notice your hands changing and moving easily. Everything's relaxed. You're sounding good. Notice how people are reacting, and really create that image in your mind of you doing that thing. And even though he's not doing it, he's just thinking about it. The unconscious mind's rehearsing the states of mind and the things it needs to be able to do it. Um, so it's a wonderful, powerful tool. There is a question, and there is something which you probably won't come up against unless you actually were kind of doing either therapy or helping someone. Is you can ask, because you can future project, or you can use it. You can use it backwards. So if somebody's feeling really low, you can kind of get them to step into a memory of a time when they were feeling really good. Be there now, see what you're seeing, hear what you're hearing. And to do that, because the mind again doesn't know the difference between the original experience quite and what you're now imagining, it will start releasing the chemicals in the brain that are associated with that memory, which will help shift somebody's state of mind. Sometimes you might say, let's think of something. I'll go with the guitar thing again because that's right. So say someone comes up to me and goes, Rob, I play guitar. Um, I'd really like to go out and play, but I have no confidence to do so. I don't think I'll ever do it. And you go, okay, so when you think forward, picture a time when you are confident and you can do it. And they say, but I've never felt confident, so I don't know what that feels like. It's quite common. Or and it's kind of when you hear it sometimes, you kind of go, think of a time when you were feeling good about yourself or you felt happy, and someone goes, I really can't find one. And so you then obviously have a bit of a problem. But the whole thing's about using the imagination. And there's a clip, if I can find it, I was going to, but today's run away with me. If I can find it, I'll share it. Where's a pen? And I'll just jot that down before I forget. Notepad. Oh, it's under me glass. Oh, it's every notepad I own under there, apparently. See if I can find it. Can, chat show. So what do you do if somebody in fact, I'm going to open. I don't often do this. What do you think you can do if somebody, if you're going through this with somebody, you say, think of a time when you're in the future, you're confident you're doing the thing, and they go, I've never felt confident. I don't know what that would be like. How can you approach that? What would you do? If you have no thoughts whatsoever, you can just wave, and if you're not sure, just wave, and I'll.
Well, I would encourage them to believe that they could.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about. Yeah.
I- I'd encourage them to think about something smaller, maybe,
Hmm.
maybe two steps backwards and then
Yeah.
bring them forward,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, break it down into smaller bits and
Yeah.
then maybe do it that way.
Yeah, yeah, always break it down, chunk it down. Maybe it's too big for them. Um, another
Or
really, oh,
maybe,
sorry, Anne. Yeah,
try and get them back to how they felt when they were like children, like teenagers.
yeah. Find a time in the further past where they maybe
Yeah,
felt more confident or something.
yeah,
Yeah. So if you still hit a wall with all that, because some people just don't have a frame of reference. I mean, at the end of the day, if they're coming to you for a bit of help, then you know to know what it is they're after, it has to be there inside them. They have to have experienced it, but they might not see it, because if not, they wouldn't know what it was they were looking for in the first place. But what you can do, and this can be quite fun, and depending on who you're working with, kind of amusing, because people tend not to kind of, if you're doing it on a more helping level with hypnosis, and this can be used with hypnosis and without. Um, it's really good with hypnosis. And you'll see it done on stage, what I'm about to say. So let's say, Anne, that you kind of you've got a job coming up and you want more confidence for the interview, but you've never felt that you're a confident person, and you know, maybe you've had a bad run of interviews as well, so you really kind of can't imagine ever being confident in an interview. So, Anne, just pop your microphone on for me a minute. There we go. So, Anne, I want you to kind of just say to, you don't have to like act it up too much, but just say to me, I just can't imagine that. I can't imagine being that confident. I've never felt that way.
I can't imagine feeling confident. All I can imagine is feeling lousy, down,
Okay.
depressed.
Yeah. So I'm just wondering, um, is there somebody that you can think of, might be a celebrity or someone you know, who, if they were in that interview, would just be really confident, relaxed, and just be able to sail through it?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. And most people will. Because quite often we go, oh, I'm not confident enough, I'm not good enough, and we're comparing with somebody in our minds. And so it can be a celebrity. It doesn't even have to be the celebrity. It can be the character from a film, you know. Um, if I'm trying to think, I haven't watched films for so long, I don't know who's who. If you got to do a bit of a public speech, maybe you're doing a wedding and you've been asked to do a speech, you know, and you think, oh, if I could deliver this like Jack Nicholson, that would be great. Then, then there's your answer. Yeah. Rather than see themselves doing the thing in the future, see the other person doing it, but then use the same process. Slightly different, but basically the same. So Anne, who would your confident person be?
I've got so many.
Well, there you go. So pick one.
um, Michael Ball.
Michael Ball. So what I want you to do is um I mean, how are you at interviews? Do you feel a bit kind of, is it a strong point,
I've
or are you a bit like with them?
I'm I've got a bit more confident
Okay.
over them.
Yeah. But not quite Michael Ball confident, hey. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean, I'm just wondering, imagining now Michael Ball sitting in for you in an interview. Can you imagine that? How it would be?
oh, he's right there.
He's right there. Okay. So as you're imagining that, I mean, notice how he's talking, notice how he's sitting, notice what he's doing, yeah?
Yeah,
And then what I want you to do in your mind, just using your imagination, drift into him. See it how he's seeing it, hear it how he's hearing it, get a feel for how he's feeling it.
yeah.
And just notice how that feels now when you think about interviews.
Feels good.
Ah, you see, it feels good, does it not?
It
So you
does.
can feel good about interviews, can you not?
I can.
There you go. That's literally, and I thank you for that. And that was quite a nice way of demoing it. Um, Not planned. I said I wouldn't stick to the plan. Um, that's all you need to do. If you know, because at the end of the day, the unconscious mind isn't sure or 100% between what's real and what's imagined. So if you can, if to see the qualities that you admire in other people, you have to have them within you to recognize them in the first place. So if you look at someone like Michael Ball or somebody off the telly, again, I don't watch telly, so I wouldn't know who's on it nowadays. They're probably still half the same people in EastEnders unless they've all died or something. But because our mind doesn't, because we don't, if somebody's struggling, or if you're struggling to see yourself being confident or being in a certain state of mind in a certain situation, or try, getting past a habit, it's like if you've got a habit and you kind of think, I can't see myself ever stopping whatever that habit is, who do you know who you think, oh, it'd be easy for them? And then step into that person. Imagine them dealing with your habit. I don't know, whatever that is. Maybe let me think of habits I've come across. Plucking eyebrows is quite a common one, to the point where there's none left. Okay, can't see yourself ever stopping doing that. Who do you know, celebrities, anyone who you think, oh, it'd be easy for them? Okay. Um, I think I'm going to say David Williams is the first person that popped into my head. So if David Williams had this habit, he'd just be able to stop like that, right? Okay. So just imagine David Williams with that habit, and he's got to the point, he's like, I'm going to stop that now. Yeah. Get that moment, see it. Now step into him, see what he sees, feel what he'll get a sense of what he's thinking that allows him to stop that now. And you'll know when people engage with it, because they'll drift off. They'll be like, oh, oh. and are they in trance? Of course they are. You've directed them inside, and there's a process going on. Have you used any hypnosis? Not in what we've looked at in the traditional sense, no, but it's still gets you there. And it's quite a common thing to turn around and say, just imagine if you could. Just imagine if you were David Beckham, and you're 93 now, but you've always wanted to play football. Just imagine, oh, you can't play football. Imagine you're David Beckham. What would he be doing in your situation now? He'd probably just go out and kick a ball. Step into that, see it. I wonder how it is he does that. And what you're doing, you're getting the imagination, and when you can, like I say, you can do this for yourself, you can do it for other people, getting the imagination to step into a future scenario and to basically learn from the rehearsal of it. So if you've got somebody who's got who feels a bit stuck with a problem, say at work, okay, imagine it's next week. You've sorted it out. Just step into you now in that point. You're not having to worry about it anymore. You've sorted it out. See yourself going on from whatever happens next week when you've sorted this out. And then just as you're doing that, what is it that you knows that allows you to solve that now? Or what is it you can take from that you that knows how to solve this? And you'll see the cogs go, and you've changed the state of mind, because they're no longer in a block state of mind. They're looking at it from a place of the solution, even though they're not immediately aware of the solution. And they can work it backwards, which quite interestingly is quite often how magicians create new tricks and effects. They don't go, oh, if I do this, this, and this, I'll create the effect. They go, if I've got a pen lid, and I want to take the pen lid and make it disappear, what do I need to do to make that happen, or even to make it reappear? But you wouldn't start with, oh, I can do this, this, and this. You'd go, there's the problem. How many different ways can I work back to find out how I got there? Which is basically future pacing, to create a magic trick, really. So that has gone on a lot longer than my timing. Let me say I've covered that and so much more. So oh no, actually, we've done a demo. So when we're doing this, when we're doing the imagining bit, if you're doing it for yourself or for somebody else, say somebody's kind of, again, we'll go on the confidence one because it's quite a common one. They've stepped into that. So we'll say, like with Anne, you stepped into Michael Ball. You've had the experience. You can get a sense of how it would be if he was confident in that situation. So now imagine yourself in 3 months' time, knowing what he knows, and you're more confident. How does that look? Imagine it. How does it feel? What's the world look like to you? How is it sounding to you when you are more confident? And it's always that presupposition that's going to happen when you are more confident. And when you are more confident, how does it look knowing what he knew now that you know? Gets a bit tongue twisting. Or an example, just imagine, everyone have a go. 3 months from now, and you've been really showing up for yourself each and every day. Really showing up for you, putting you first. And just imagine that right now you're standing in front of a mirror. You can see it in your eyes. You did it. You kept going. You kept showing up. You could get that sense of that steady pride in your chest, the calm breathing, your shoulders relaxed. And again, when you're rehearsing that, when you're taking people through that, the unconscious mind is learning from it. It's accessing the resources that allow you to enter into those states of mind. So when you're doing it, we're going to use really sensory rich language. Yeah, really make it sumptuous in the description of it. Really draw out the feeling, the sensation of it, whatever it is you're looking at. And even if you start off, see yourself in 3 months' time. So that's the instruction. See yourself in 3 months' time, 6 months' time, with what they've been doing. So you've been growing more confident, or you've been feeling, happier about life, or whatever it is. And right now, you're standing, and so you've set the scene, and then you bring it into the present. Right now, you're standing in front of a mirror. See it with your eyes. Get a sense of that feeling, how good it feels now that you're more confident. And really get them to use the imagination to explore what that feels like. So first person, lots of description, and imply success. It implies the whole thing. When you do that, implies success as a lived experience. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the breakout rooms. Someone's going to end up with me in their room. Don't know yet, because I haven't done the deciding bit. And one person's going to think of either go for positives. So if there's a habit you want to be developing that's a good habit, if there's a way, because you can use it to rehearse responses, if there's a way you want to kind of think, oh, I don't want to be responding like that in those kind of situations. I want to be responding more calmly or more authoritatively, or however you want to be responding in a certain situation, or a behavior that you want to strengthen. So if you kind of, I don't know, you're practicing your meditation almost every day, but you kind of think, I'd really like to strengthen that, so I'm doing a bit every day. That kind of thing. So that's one person. Person one is going to think of something a habit they want to develop, a response that they want to develop, or a behavior they want to strengthen, something positive. Person two, we'll call you the guide, is going to lead them through just a really simple future projection, just using prompts like, imagine it's next week and you've just handled that situation beautifully. What are you seeing? How's it feel? What are you saying to yourself? What's different now that you've done it? What's possible from here? Yeah, so just get them to explore, imagine the scenario, step into it as though it's now, and then explore the possibilities of what it feels like now you've done it, what it feels like that. And even if the other person drifts into past tense or does, stay in present, refer to it as though it's now, because that'll work on the unconscious level. Use the present tense, sensory rich and really supportive and encouraging languages. It's not a script. Just stay with the responses and build that imagined future, and then explore it as though it's something that's happened already, or that it's happening now, in fact. Does that make sense? Good. I'll find the breakout room thing. There it is. Automatic assignments, 2 rooms. Don't have to spend tons and tons of time on it. Just get a feel for it. So 5 minutes each way should probably be enough. One person's thinking of what they want to improve. The other person's going to guide them to imagining they've done it, and then get them to explore it as though it's happened already in this moment now. Open all rooms. I'll see one of you sooner than the other two. There we go. And then we're so you've had to go at that. You kind of get the feel of it. It's imagine the future, think of the future, step into it, and then you start talking about it as though it's happening now, getting them to explore it in as much detail. I was saying to Anne, we've used in the past when we've done like the coaching sessions at the beginning of the year and stuff, we've actually used quite a lot of this with the kind of the idea of the ideal day or your ideal meditation session when we first started I Meditate. Um, so it was a really useful tool for not just helping other people, but for also ourselves and using our own minds in a way that is beneficial to us. Um, there's another way of doing this, and you can kind of approach it from the kind of something you've been stuck with, or something you're putting off, something you're delaying. Um, and rather than just going, picture yourself done it, guide them in a slightly different way. So close your eyes and just float forward in time to the moment just after it's done. Where are you? And I quite like this approach because the first way to approach it is you kind of see yourself doing this, see yourself doing that, see yourself doing this, that, and the other. And that works well. It's quite what's the word? It's kind of direct. The slightly more Ericksonian kind of more kind of allowing for the individual that you're working with would be to guide them. So close your eyes and just allow yourself to drift, float forward in time to a moment or to the moment just after that problem's been solved, or just after you've got past whatever was holding you back, or you've done the thing that you were putting off. And then you ask, where are you? And again, you're bringing it and you're encouraging them to speak in the present tense. Where are you? So someone might say, oh, I'm actually in the little cafe up the road. Okay. So you're in the little cafe up the road, or whatever that was is gone. Which, there you go. There's an embedded command and indirect suggestion. Whatever that was, implying it's not there, has gone, doubly implying it's no longer there. Where are you? What are you noticing? How are you feeling whilst you're in that cafe? So you're feeling relaxed, really chilled. It feels good. You treated yourself to your favorite drink there because you promised yourself it would when you got through this. So what made it possible? Again, keeping it in the present tense. What has made it possible that you're sitting there now? And that's when they start looking back through time and looking a bit like the reworking the magic trick in reverse again. What made it possible? Allow them to speak, allow them space to speak, and just really affirm and deepen their state. So how do we do that? Well, do you know what? I realized I've been worrying too much about it and it wasn't getting me anywhere. So you can be more relaxed and get where you want to get. Yeah, never affirm the negative, affirm the positive. So, okay, so if you're more relaxed, you can get where you want to get. Yeah. And how's that feel when you're more relaxed and you're getting where you want to get? So it feels good. It feels like things are moving forward. Okay. And when you're relaxed and things are moving forward, how is it you solve that problem? What made it possible? Because I was relaxed and I had that moment of insight, which whilst I was looking too hard for it. If you're not looking too hard and you relax, you'll find the solution to this problem at the moment. Yeah. Okay. So what if you do that now? And quite often you'll see somebody unfold the problem right there in front of you, literally right there in front of you. But let them speak in the present tense, allow them and affirm the state, affirm the positives, all the steps that go. So you did this, and that made you feel. How did you notice that? How did you know when you got there? Oh, you felt you just woke up one day and knew. Okay, so when you wake up one day and know, then you can go past this, can you not? I appreciate you might want to go back and listen to this for some of that wording. Um, there are some notes of it on my notes. So that's our kind of deeper dive into future pacing. It is used quite a lot. I do use it quite a lot throughout the I Meditate stuff. You'll notice times when we've done it. Um, so just to finish off, I'm going to invite you again to just gently come back to a sense of stillness, to allow your eyes to close, taking a deep breath in and out. And just imagine waking up tomorrow, having slept, maybe a bit, maybe a lot, just quietly knowing that you can use this to help others and yourself. Just see yourself there. Maybe having a brew first thing in the morning. Just like, you know what? I get that. I can do that. I can see how I can use that. And I get a feeling I know that I can apply it. Just step into that. You see how it looks to you now. How it sounds to you knowing that you can do this. What are those thoughts that allow you to know now that you can do this? Because you've just walked the path ahead of you. You've stood in a future where the change has already happened. The learning has taken place in the past, present. And even now, a part of you knows it's possible. And you can let that part grow. You can let it guide. Because you're not wishing. When we do this, we are preparing. And that's a beautiful thing. So then when you're ready, you just open up your eyes. Be here now. I shall